everybody, how you doing today? Hope you're all having a great weekend, or not weekend, a great, what day is it today? Wednesday, a great Wednesday so far. We actually got some sun out for once. So again, I'm having to readjust my webcam. Maybe this weekend I can find a better system, but anyway, okay, so why are there two? Oh, I got both games open. So I actually want to do the test terrain again. Because before I try to implement this into the game, I want to see how it looks with some better art. Because I think that will make or break it. And I need to test certain things, like what happens if these blocks don't match exactly. And you can kind of see through them, which I sort of want to be able to support in case, well, just so that blocks aren't confined to being exact hexagons. And for that to work, I'm going to need to maybe construct some kind of simple mesh that goes inside them that's just black so you can't see through to the bottom layer. But that'll be very simple, so. Let's go ahead and get started in Blender, I think. So again, I'll delete these extra items I don't need. Okay, come on. Oh yeah, you have to press delete when you're over this window or it doesn't work. Okay, so I'm in object mode, so you can press Shift A to add something, and I want to add a cylinder. And then down here we want 6 vertices. Okay, well the positions don't matter a whole lot right now because when I can rescale everything when we get it into Unity, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. This looks fine. Oh yeah, I don't really need a cap right now. Okay, so now I'm gonna press tab to go to edit mode, and is this? It should get it in the right orientation. I guess that doesn't really matter a whole lot either because again, when we get it into Unity, it'll be easy to fix. But I'll just go ahead and do. Oh wait, no, I had it right at first. Yeah, because east and west are flat. Okay, so I'm gonna press 5 on the numpad to get it to orthographic view. It's just easier to model in. Let's see. So I guess I'm gonna try and make a dirt block. So, I mean, it won't be that complicated. Let's move it. Okay, let's do something like this. I'll extrude inward. And then just kind of make a rounded edge. Then I'll extrude it again. It's good to have some extra like edge loops around like this because that helps keep the interpolation between the normals on these faces not go too crazy. Okay, so then let's just select a couple edges. And fill these in like that. And okay, so I know this is super simple, but let's go ahead and test it out in Unity. Make a new. What was that? Oh, okay. I do want to show folders. I want to make a new one. Oh, it's this key. Let's just call it Dart Block, I guess. All right. So now in Unity. Oh. Okay, so let's go ahead and mess about some of this. I want to make sure that we calculate the normals so that they're smooth. There won't be any animations, so this doesn't really matter. Go ahead and do this. I need to make a material, but okay, so if I go and just change the prototype mesh in here, then we'll use this new dirt block. Okay. Okay, since I've smoothed these edges, it looks kind of strange, doesn't it? Okay, what I should do is add something right there so that this is now a square. So if I add these loops here, the smoothing for these corners won't be quite as extreme. We'll definitely want to clean up all these edges up on the top because it's a little crazy, but okay, so that does look a lot better. Let me see. Do we want to mess with it? We should probably import the toon shader in here and see how it looks with these smooth edges. Okay, so I'll just move over the entire shader folder. And then also, oh, where is it? The shader setup script. And I guess I'll move over some of the lighting ramps too. Which I need to find. Where is that folder? Okay, that's not it. That's an old one. Materials maybe? No. Oh, here it is actually. Yeah, the ambient ramp, the point cookie, specular ramp, okay. I'll just rename this lighting ramps. But I don't need all of it. I guess I'll leave the SVGs, but yeah, I don't need these cookies. Okay, now I can just create a shader setup object. Okay, so if anybody hasn't seen when I was making the shader, how this works is every light source has a specific ramp associated with it. And the ramp is really just like the coloring of a light as it affects the model. And the reason we do it that way is so that we can have complete control over where lighting is applied. And that's basically all the magic behind a toon shader. Now here in the lighting, I do need to set up the ambient color. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so here on the dirt block, I guess I should make a new material. And I can give it the toon shader. Right now it just has a white material, which is fine. Okay, that's really all I have to do here. And then in the shader, we can just say we want to replace the default material with this toon material. Okay, so now it's affected by the toon shader, we can see, because there's just flat colors. So if I rotate the light, let's... Okay, well that's just the shadows being weird. I'm going to turn off light mapping because it's doing things I don't need it to do. Okay, see if I can fix up the shadows a bit. So I do want soft shadow. I just want it to be real time. Oh, also, yeah, this isn't... Yeah, the only problem with using this script is that the shader doesn't look correct in editor view, so I have to actually play the game to see how it actually looks. So we'll do that in just a second, but one other thing I want to do is be sure to put the shadows, make sure we have 4 shadow cascades. That's important for the shadow quality. Okay, that's really ugly. Yeah, I've never been able to get the shadows to look really right. I'll probably need to read up on that. It looks fine here, but for some reason on the sides, there's always that weird terracing. The toon shader itself is fine. Okay. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Let's delete that. Okay. So what do I want to do here? I think first I'll get rid of all those extra edges I did just to make this easier to work with, and we can add them back later. Okay, so for dirt, I guess I just want to add a little texture. Okay, so probably I should rebuild how I did the top here. Let's just... oh, well, no, I think this is actually how I want to do it. I want to be able to like move some of these points up and down. Let's do that. I just want it in the center. And then here, the problem is just the weird way that this like winds around. Okay, I'm surprised it lets me do an edge loop because that's a triangle. Usually edge loops don't work with triangles, but I don't know. I kind of just want it to go across. Okay, I think I'm gonna delete all these faces and then do a mirror. Oh. Okay, something weird's going on here. Let's just delete all those. Yeah, there's an edge there, but I didn't cut the face. Okay, I'll have to remember that. I'll just create a new one. Okay, and now I'll need to switch back to object mode and add a not a constraint, I want to add a modifier, just a mirror. Yeah, on the x-axis, and then I want to merge the vertices that are identical. Okay, so we'll just leave that for now, and now this side will automatically update to match any changes here. If I do, can't really see. If I do that, you can see it automatically updates on the mirrored side. So what I want to do, I guess let's just start with that one, and I'll just need to cut across. Hopefully it will let me. Sometimes this cut tool is very finicky. If I press C, it will make sure it's on a straight line. Okay, let's just leave it like that for now. And I'll need to clean that up later. Alright, and so let's add a couple more. Okay, I don't know why it's not going straight for me. Maybe it, oh yeah, these aren't straight either. Okay, so maybe it actually goes based on the view. Not that it really matters a whole lot, but okay, so now I've got a better looking grid. Should I? Probably should add something around here. I don't know, I think I have enough complexity. I'll just spread some of these apart. It doesn't have to be... like I don't actually need a perfect grid. Okay, so yeah, this is pretty good. Now how about I try moving some of these up and down? Just slightly. Just want to kind of create a dirt type look. I'm not sure exactly the right way to go about this. I think it'll really come together a lot more when I get texture on it, but these are all the same height, so I should try to change it so that all of the vertices have been perturbed just slightly so that there's not any that's on perfect zero. Okay, I should be careful around here because that triangle I think will cause me problems. Okay, and then maybe later on I'll want to change it so that this side isn't an exact mirror. Probably I will, but for now it's okay. Alright, so how do I want to do these edges? Probably something similar. Yeah, so I don't mind if it really looks like these are separate blocks. That I don't think they have to match exactly on the edges with their neighbors, so I'm not really going to worry about that too much. Because like I said, if you can see through, one of the things I want to add is like some kind of dark border, or not border, but like mask I don't know the right term. I guess a cover so you can't see through to the into the void. Okay, so I'm just gonna make that slightly irregular. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I guess I should rough up these sides too. Probably, okay, so when you look at dirt, you can see like layers in it. So it might be kind of cool if this has like a layer that's a different color. I guess first of all I should bring these lines out onto the sides. Okay. This is gonna look a little weird, but let's see. I just do something like this, kind of eyeball it, and then try to join them together. I think that will end up looking better. All right. I guess I could rough up these edges, but I don't know if it really matters at this point. Alright, so let's put, I don't know, a layer, something like this. I don't want it to be completely straight, so... kind of move it around a bit. Oops. Alright, something like that. Gotta be... yeah, I'm not sure. This mirror probably won't work too well. Yeah, well, okay, well, we'll worry about that later. Because what's going to happen here is it's going to dip down, and then when it mirrors, it's going to have an abrupt dip back up. Same thing there, unless I'm careful to try to even this out. Which makes this look a little strange. Okay, so now I want to select these faces in here. And... okay, how should I do this? I want to extrude inward a bit. Okay, let's go to top view. I'll press E to extrude and then S to scale. It's hard to see. That's too little. Let's change the rendering to wireframe. Okay. Yeah, I was just making sure that it hadn't already extruded, so E, S. Okay, and now I need to move this so that it matches the seam here again. Although that's probably a bit too much. Yeah, that's better. And now I also want to scale it on the Z plane. So I think I'll switch back to solid. Okay, I don't need to get rid of that in a second. That has a bit of a cut. Okay, so now this face here I just need to delete. Same thing over here. Okay, I think that's starting to look pretty good. Probably could add a bit more. Well, we need to add some bumps and things. Maybe I can model in a rock. Let me see. One thing I do need to do is perturb some of these. Guess I'll add in a loop there just so I can change some of these edges. I wish that there was a way I could select these edges and then just move them on the XY plane with one key press, but I don't think there really is. So what I have to do is select each of these and then press G and then Shift Z, and now it will ignore the Z plane. Also, yeah, all these are straight, I just realized. Oops. Okay, that's looking better. These were already perturbed a bit. I guess I should have done this before making that strata in the middle, but it's not a huge deal. I did that already. No, this is fine. I just realized I'm forgetting to change the corners here. And also, I don't think any of them have changed the bottoms. Obviously, we don't want to go too far outside the bounds, but I don't want every model to have to stick exactly to a hexagon shape. So I'm going to try and make it so that's not completely needed. Okay, so I think that's good for now. Let me see. Let's see how it looks in game. I might need to add a couple more loops to make sure that the interpolation between these faces isn't too much. Okay, well again the shadows are looking kind of weird and the colors are a bit off. Just because the material is white, so it's just inheriting everything from the light. Okay, that's shadow there is a little interesting. Oh, also I think in the material, yeah, the specular size is probably too high. Hey Ice Boy, glad to see ya. How you doing today? Hope you're having a good summer so far. Actually, yeah, that did something. Hard to tell exactly what's going on just because it's white. I think that means we need to get an actual texture going here. Oh, good to hear you're doing pretty good. Yeah, same here. It's been really rainy here the last couple weeks, but finally there's some sun out. Okay, so for textures in this style, I just use a style that was I first saw it, but made by a Twitter user named Minions Art. And the reason I like it is because I don't really have to do UV mapping, which I really hate. So how it works is you have a bunch of gradients in the texture, and then you can kind of, like, you model in the color. So, for example, I'll have like a brown texture for the dirt, and then a yellower texture for this stripe, and then we'll just kind of move the UVs to match those gradients. What am I trying to do? I want to set the document properties so I can give it a width and a height. It doesn't really have to be that big. Let's go to, I don't know, 512 is probably too small. 1024. And yeah, the graphics cards like you to use, oh, I forget, that always sets it to millimeters. like you to have dimensions that are power of 2, so that's why I'm using 1024 there. Oh, no problem, Ice Boy. Maybe if I change this to pixel, it will use that by default. Okay, so what am I gonna need? I'll need a dirt, a yellower bit for this, and maybe some gray if I want to model in some rocks. The scale of this game is supposed to be like Godzilla, so this is actually probably like several yards. So probably I won't do like any grass sprigs or anything on it. Guess that means I need 3 colors. Let's just make it 4 because that's easier. Okay, so height 1024, width 1024 divided by 4, which is 256. Okay, set up a gradient. The bottom color will be, I don't know, brown. Orangish brown. Oh, it didn't copy. Okay, so yeah, we want it to be lighter. And then also, you always want to try to hue shift your shading. This makes everything look more alive, and that just means you make the shadows colder and the highlights warmer. So I'm gonna just move this towards yellow slightly. So that's 1. Okay, that's gonna snap. So I want a different gradient here. Okay, so this will be the stripe in the middle. Okay, well this is already kind of yellowish. Let's make it... make this redder. And then this one... yeah, I think that's... do I like those colors together? Yeah, I find that browns are kind of hard to get looking perfectly. At least for me anyway. When it comes to colors, that's the one I always have the most trouble with. Okay, so let's add 1 more. And this will be for a rock. Well, we don't even have a rock right now, but I think I'll probably want one. Just to add some different colors. Okay, and then of course I want a hue shift to yellow, but since it's so far away from yellow, I can shift it a lot more. Also, it's desaturated, so it's not going to be as obvious. It looks a lot better when I move it over here, even though this is so cool. Something like that. And I'll just leave this last bit empty. Okay, so I'll just say gradients. And then I want to export an image. I wish this would just like default to what you just had open, but it doesn't, unfortunately. Okay, so let's okay, I'll call it albedo because it's a technical term. Okay, and then one other thing I want to do is just rename this layer to albedo. And later on, if we need to make a specular map, which kind of just tells the shader which parts of the model should be shiny, I can do that here in the same file with a different layer. Okay, so now when I open it, here I can go ahead and assign this albedo to the material, but it's not really going to do anything because turn off the specular for now because the UVs aren't set up correctly. Yeah, so everything is just brown. Okay, so in Blender I need to open up a UV editor over here. Okay, and let's create a new image. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Okay, so do I need, I forget if I have to, I think mirroring also applies to UVs, but oh, well, that should be okay. Okay, so I'll just, kind of what you want to do is you want to think where you want the darker color to be, which we want it at the bottom. And so you want to unwrap in that way. But I guess right now I'm just trying to get this image to show up, so. Okay, why is it all white? That's not correct at all. Anyway, so you can press U to get to the UV, and then I'll just project from view. And press A to select all. And then we'll just move it over here. Okay, let's scale it on the X a bit so it fits within this brown band. And here's a neat trick. So I'll start off at the bottom and then I'll set the cursor there. And if you press, is it comma or period? I forget. I think period. And now you'll scale based from this anchor. So if I want to scale just on the Y, I can stretch it out like that. But always be sure to press comma to get it back to normal mode. Okay. So if I change this to texture, I should see, yeah, so now there's a gradient. Let's see if it shows up in Unity. Okay, it's interesting. It looks much greener here. I think, is it because of the light color? It also looks very plasticky. I think that's just because of the rounding. And there's some weirdness going on right here. What's that about? I bet that's the seam from the mirror and they don't exactly match up. Okay, so obviously we've got a bit more to do. Let's just go ahead and apply the modifier. Okay, and now I gotta check. So you can see these two don't match up. Let's just switch back to solid. And you can press Alt M and then at center just to merge those at center. It looks like these don't either. Oh, I gotta be sure to unselect the first ones. Does this one merge up? Okay, that one's good. It looks like the top merge is just this side, probably because I was messing around with perturbing them. Oh, wrong key. So I should check the other side. Probably have the same type of issues. So far so good. Actually, I think the reason is because these all were not moved around. Oh, what did I just do? I think I accidentally started rendering. Okay, so Shift Z goes into whatever that view is. I'm not sure exactly what that is. G. Okay, so now I fix that. I don't know if it will update while playing. It looks like it did. But yeah, so this still looks kind of weird because it's too rounded. Oh, it didn't fix actually. So let's restart. I kind of want crisper edges because I mean there's supposed to be like a blocky hexagon type thing. I think we're kind of on the right track. I don't know, the color is still a bit weird. Is it because this is too yellow? I don't know. Change it to white, what does it look like? No, it's still kind of ugly. It doesn't look like the color I have right here though, does it? Oh, I bet it's the ambient lighting. Okay, I'm surprised it's affecting... Okay, yeah, that was the issue. It was just the ambient lighting was affecting the albedo more than I thought it would. I thought the ambient lighting was mostly just for rim lights, but... Yeah, so this looks much better. Yeah, just barely any change. Okay. I don't know, maybe I need to change the way the ambient lighting works. Okay, so anyway, I can change this back to being yellow. Okay, so one way I can fix some of the softness is by adding more edge loops. Go around here. I kind of just want to do this to test. I probably won't leave them in until I'm completely done with the model, just because doing this ups the complexity a lot and makes it hard to edit. Looks like I'm... Oh, it just didn't go through that triangle. That's fine. Okay, so now it's a much crisper look, which I definitely like better. That's good to keep in mind. Although doing that did make some of these things look weird, so I need to make sure that when I add in those extra edges that I don't have them go all the way to the top. Let's see how it looks when I play though. Okay, so one thing I need to remember, I think this little bit right there is kind of strange. But I mean, I think it's not too bad. Maybe I should just make this gradient not quite as extreme. But I'll worry about getting the colors perfect later. Okay, so anyway, let's just undo all those edge loops. Okay, so now what I need to do, I think I will go ahead. Yeah, it looks a lot yellow in the, well, here I think it's because of the light maybe. I did turn. Yeah, it has no specular. I don't see any specular highlights, which is kind of surprising. Oh, there's a bit. Wonder. I'm just, yeah, usually the specular highlights are very strong with these default settings, so I'm just surprised I don't see any. But it might just be because the light color is so close to the actual color. So if I had changed it to be, I don't know, like purple, it actually looks pretty good. Surprised the speculators aren't messed up, are they? Let me just make a, not a cube, a sphere. It didn't update the material. Okay, oh wait, you know what? I should check this. Oh yeah, see this isn't using the toon shader. Okay, that's a big problem. How did I not realize that by now? Okay, this is just using... Okay, so okay. No wonder it wasn't making any difference. This had got... I guess when I added in the UV, it removed that reference I did. Okay, there we go. That's the specular highlight I was expecting. Yeah, it's usually really overpowering with it set to full strength. Okay. Yeah, this is looking, yeah, much more toony. Okay, I can't believe I didn't realize that until now, but yeah. Okay, so the shadow is very pronounced right now, but that's just because of the ramp, I think. Okay, and also I can turn the ambient lighting back to blue. We can see the ambient, I thought just affects the rim lighting, which is this light you see on the edge. Okay, so yeah, that looks a lot better. Probably I won't actually want a specular highlight on the terrain in general because specular tends to like bring your eye to a specific model. Oh yeah, and if you don't, specular highlight's just this shine. So I'll probably want to turn that off for this model, but I was surprised I could never even see it, and that's because the material is not working right. Anyway, so yeah, I don't want to turn off globally. Let's go ahead and make a specular gradient or a specular layer to this. Okay, so the specular texture is like I could just specify certain, well, basically those data points that I was messing with earlier, I can actually set in this texture. So, for example, if I want the rock here to be shiny, which I probably will, I could just set this to white, but then I want these two not to be shiny, so I'll just set them to black. I think specifically the red channel is specular strength, and then blue and green are specular size and offset, and then the alpha is like emissive color, which is if you want it to look like it's glowing, which we won't need that here, obviously. Okay, so I just need to export this. Okay, and the specular, I don't want it to be sRGB because it's a control texture and not a color texture. Yeah, actually, I don't want bitmaps either. Point. Lamp. Should have done this to the albedo texture as well. We want bitmaps. I mean, it's a gradient anyway. Oh yeah, that's probably fine. Yeah, we do want bilinear, but then I want clamp for the wrap mode. That. And so now if I set this here, I'll basically just leave those. And now there shouldn't be any specular highlight because I just turned them off with the specular texture. And if I change it back to white, then yeah, we'd have speculars again. Okay. So now let's go back here and add in some other color. Probably what I should do is add in this extra stripe. So if I want to select this whole ribbon here, so I change the face selection mode and press Alt right click, then it selects that ribbon, excuse me, ribbon. And then I'll want to get ones on both of those sides, so I can press Shift plus, I think. Oh no, that didn't work. Okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I always forget the key. What is it? It's like, no, Control plus? Oh, it's Control plus to expand your selection. So now we have those edges. And I'll just start from here, and then I'll press U and unwrap or project from view. And we'll need to scale on X just to bring it into the yellowish part. Okay, so how should I do the gradient? It actually should be kind of inverted because this top one should be darker because it's shaded. And then this bottom part would be brighter. So I want to flip it. And then keep going to exaggerate. All right, let's see how that looks. Okay, so that definitely adds some interest. Although, yeah, the shadow makes it look a little weird. I keep going back and forth about if I actually like the shadows or not. Because then there's this weirdness right here. They just always tend to like look so bumpy, even if this is like simple geometry. And then there's this thing right here where it adds a shadow there, but not on the lip right there. Oh, but anyway, I don't know. Let's leave it for now. Okay, so one thing I want to do, I think I might change the way that I do the gradient slightly. So let's move that like that. And flatten this and just move that down. And then these will be darker as well, I think. Okay, well now I think the color is not that good, but I can change that later. Okay, so yeah, it's looking better, but yeah, there's still kind of the smoothing weirdness. Yeah, looks like a lemon cake or something. I don't know. I need to, yeah, I need to edit the colors. Okay, so let's make this color a lot whiter, I think. Oh, it's gotten dark again. Something like this, but I need to raise this saturation. So now it should be more like cream, like sandstone. Well, I guess I spoke too soon when I said it was going to be sunny today. I don't know. Now it's starting to look too desaturated, and the game is kind of, the style is like toys. Let me see how to look for inspiration. Maybe I just need to saturate everything a lot more. Maybe make this like even almost purple. I don't know, that's a bit too crazy. Let's look. Rock. Rada. This, yeah, I guess like the Grand Canyon. There's all different colors. Yeah, I think this is a doctored image, but yeah, that's that area of the world's really pretty. I forget what it's called. Let me see. So maybe instead of this yellowish color, I could do something like, I don't know, almost purple. I don't know about that. I hate working with yellow too, because whenever you darken yellow, it starts to look really ugly. Okay, let's try this one. Also, I just noticed that there's a tent. How'd the UVs get messed up? I do think that the colors look better together. Okay, I must have done... Oh, did the... Oh, I must have set it to the wrong export mode, and so Inkscape chopped off that bit. Wait, so how do I reload image? Well, it's not going to be super hard to fix. Let's switch to scale from anchor. It won't update automatically. Also, okay, it's kind of interesting with this this setup. You can barely tell that these hexagons have been sloped. Not very noticeable at all, which makes me think, I wonder if it's even worth it. So let's, if I set this to 0, I guess I need to take a screenshot to see. Okay, well I think it did add something, because this does look a lot more angular. Also, oh, when I have that selected, it's hard to tell. But yeah, can't really see through. No, you can kind of see through that one. That edge right there. I should... Oh, also I forgot to... I think this is a little... I guess the scale is still pretty much correct, but I thought I made it higher than 1 for sure. That might be why there's some... Yeah, like here they're kind of like going inside each other. But I think it's starting to look a lot better. What is with this yellow? That should be the ambient color, shouldn't it? Which, oh, is this white? Did I change it to blue? Probably reset, yeah, because I was in play mode when I was editing it. That's kind of interesting. The ambient color still looks very... I guess it just accentuates whatever this color is, which happens to be yellowish. Okay, but anyway, yeah, so I think having a slope inset is pretty nice. Let me even try something a bit even more exaggerated. Okay, yeah, so this is a bit a bit too much. But yeah, I think it is a nice effect. I don't know, even this looks okay with the... If we make sure that... Well, I don't know, if we had like a 3 height cliff slope, it might get a bit too much. But it does kind of look cool. Yeah, one thing I do need to do... I don't know if I'll do it in this prototype or when I implement it into the final game, but I would like to deform these back that way. Just because they sort of have a cliff, but that'll take some logic, so I don't know if it'd be worth it to do it in this prototype. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, so here, yeah, since there's a gap you can see through, and in the final game we'll actually be able to delete these because we'll know that they're hidden. And this one as well. So if I look through that gap, you can actually see into nothingness, like you can see it's hollow. So I'll need to create some type of mesh that just is completely black so you can't see in there. I'll probably be writing notes down. Yeah, so blocking mesh, let me say view blocking, oops. To hide the hollow interior, and then I'll want to hex deformations for cliffs. How should I call it? Like if it's just a one-sided cliff instead of 2 sides on a corner. With only one neighbor at the same altitude. I don't know. Hopefully I'll know what I'm talking about. I don't really know what to call it, but basically cliffs like this where there's just one side that is different, that both of these can slide in that way. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm starting to like this terrain system a lot more. It does have some problems, like, I don't know, this area I wish could be a little better. Like somehow I could say that the gradient should be less pronounced, but maybe I should just make this gradient not as strong. But like in the old system, these would be blended together smoother, but in this system I also do have a lot more power over the terrain models, and probably I'll let mod authors like specify a bunch of different models for a certain type, and then we could just randomly pick one to add some variety. And we could also rotate these. Maybe I'll do that right now. That's an easy way to add some variety. Let me see. Oh, I don't have Visual Studio open yet. Okay, so okay, so I can't transform them right here because that will mess up. No, it won't. Okay, I thought it would maybe mess up some of the logic here, but I actually don't use the transformation of the actual hex, just the prototype. Okay, so let me see. Hex, transform, rotation equals quaternion, Euler. So I want it to rotate on the y axis. So 60 times six. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, it actually did mess up. Okay, so what happened here is that it rotated, but it's still treating this corner as being over here, for example, or whatever. So I guess, yeah, we do have to take into account the rotations. I don't know if I want to worry about that yet. Let me see. Well, I kind of know how to do it, but I don't know. I don't really want to get into all the math. I need to apply a rotation to these, but not the transformation of the parent object. Okay, let's just not worry about it for now. Okay, yeah, random rotations on the y-axis. We'll need to remember to support that in the final version. Okay, so we have about 20 minutes or so left. So let's add a bit more to this. Okay, one thing I want to do is exaggerate these dips here. So I think what I'll do is take a bunch of these faces. That's probably a better way. Do that, because yeah, that's gonna select some I don't want. Okay, there we go. Press shift to get rid of the ones. Okay, that's pretty good. And then I really don't want this ring either. Oh. Which I think I'll just deselect manually. Okay, so I have these. Okay, and I kind of want this edge to stay the same. Okay, that's not what I... Is it... Maybe it's a straight point. I'm gonna see where that is. Oh, it's... Yeah, so it's over there. Okay, so let's undo that. So I want to set my cursor here. Oh, select all. I just want to exaggerate the differences. need to scale these back down. That's not what I want to do. Oh, had it, and then I forgot to click. No, I don't want to go up. There we go. Does that look good? Okay, I think... Let's see. I think I need to bring down the starting point. Okay, now there's going to be a seam there, which I'll just need to try to fix later. I think that looks better. Okay, so... oh, I can do this. I can select face and then get these edge rings. Okay, and I have the cursor there, but I should change this back. Okay, so I want this top to match up pretty much with the cursor. And I'll switch it back to scale by anchor. Thing. This. Okay, so now we can't really see the seam. Let's see how that looks in Unity. Okay, well it does look sort of better, except you can really see the mirror. Also, I think the color is just too yellow. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the texture mode just so that I don't worry about it, and yeah, probably mirroring was a bad decision in the first place because it would be a bit annoying to try to fix it. Could get, I mean, it would look better if I flipped this. I don't know if there's an easy way to do that. Oh, I don't even know I had this. Okay, so now if I mirror on the X and no, that's not what I want to do. I was hoping that it would flip it around, but it doesn't look like it's going to do that for me. Okay, so hoping I can undo, but it's not. It doesn't look like it's gonna let me. Okay, this is from before I did the mirroring. Okay, so I think, yeah, I'm just gonna need to go and reperturb these. Let's switch to vertex mode. So first off, I'll not select these are on the edge, but all right, and yeah, just to delete any mirroring that might still be in there, I'm gonna scale on the z-axis and set that to 0. So now they're all flat. Okay, so let me see. Now just adjust these again. I'll have to be careful about that triangle. I think this point is too high in general. You can really tell on the UV map. A bit crazy. Okay, and now let's get rid of any other remnants of the mirroring. I'll change up some of these points. Okay, so the sides are still kind of mirrored, but it doesn't really matter a whole lot. I guess while I'm on it, I can adjust these as well. And later on, if I really feel like it, I can go and make these different. Okay. Let's change back to viewing the texture. Alright, so now I'm gonna have to recolor or redo this top. Oh, I should make sure I like it first. What did I do here? Oh, snapping was on. think this is a little too deep. Alright. So if I select these and then just expand selection. Okay, it gets most of it. Scale X. So I need to find the kind of flat line where the seam is, and then just scale based on the Y. Okay. There's still some weird V shapes I don't really like. So that might just be because the gradient is too strong. So, reload. Still pretty strong. Maybe I just don't use that top part. Okay, yeah, that's better. Okay, yeah, that looks better. You can still kind of see that, but I mean, sometimes in Dart you get patterns, so it's not really a huge deal. I still don't know if I like the colors a whole lot, but I think we're almost there. So I guess the only other thing is if I want to add some rocks into it, which I could see maybe embedding some on the side. Like right here maybe. Oh, and then I need to add in the other edge loops to make these more crisp, but okay, let's add in just a small rock for some. Oh, I don't actually want it to be on the edge right there. That really might be all I have to do. Select these faces. Select from view. Yeah, into here. Scale. Oh, I should change it back to local. Exaggerate that a little bit, but I still want it to be pretty dark. Yeah, so something like that. Oh, what is going on? Oh, it's okay, yeah, because the rocks is shiny, I think the specular highlight is strong, like I said. If I switch the Is it the specular? Could also be the UV map. Let me, if I turn this down. Oh, it is a specular highlight. Okay. Well, obviously it's too strong. So what I can do. Oh, well, we could just set it in the material. It's fine. Let's what I actually want to do is just change the size. Something much smaller so that you can only see the specular. Basically never, it seems like. There might not be enough geometry to actually see anything. So maybe we want to add something more to it. Yeah, that should be better, I think. Let's see. Oh no, that's wrong. Yeah, that looks better, I think. Oh yeah, that's much better. But again, I don't know if I want to keep it because you don't want the terrain to take up too much. Well, obviously it looks kind of weird now because it's all on the same side, but you don't want the terrain to be too eye-catching. But I think I have a proof of concept that can look pretty good. So maybe tomorrow I can start implementing this in the final game because I think I'm pretty happy. And there's no reason to try and do too much work on this prototype because I pretty much know how to do what's left. But I guess it's a bit almost time to end, so I guess I'll call it here. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better about the terrain now because yeah, I still wasn't sure if the system would look good, but I think it's, yeah, with some more tweaking. Obviously I still need to do the colors and I'll need to work more on this block, but I can see the potential. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming by and watching. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully, it's been raining so far. I mean, this whole week so far, so hopefully it'll actually stay sunny here, but I hope you all are having better weather than me. But anyway, feel free to follow me here on Twitch or on my Twitter if you'd like to be notified when I go live tomorrow. It's usually around noon Eastern. I also have a YouTube channel if you'd like to catch up on any previous streams to see how the game used to look. I upload everything there. And a Discord server if you'd like to chat with me anytime. It'd be great to have you there. I'll put links in chat, or you can check out the video description if you're watching from YouTube. But yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, I should do something about the bottom here, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye, Ice Boy. Thanks again for coming by. Bye, everybody.